Yo, yo, yo. Welcome in, everyone, to another edition of Fourth and Goal. It is I, your host with the most, Patty Pitts, and sitting to my right in the yard of the stream, it is the best in the West that you cannot forget about. It's Sara Marshall. And you heard our boys in blue say, "Oh yeah," but we are saying, "Oh yeah," for a different reason because the Pats are on Monday Night Football and they're taking on the Bills for essentially right now after Baltimore decided it for them yesterday with their loss to Pittsburgh. It is for the AFC #1 spot, and it's going to be done in a blizzard. So what more could you want out of a Monday night game? Really, what more?
A Patriots win.
I mean, that'd be nice, but we have to be. Actually, screw it. I'm going all in. I think a Patriots win is definitely in the realm of possibility, even though they are coming in as the underdog. But
Which is so funny because then it's coming out that the Bills are like, we're the underdog. No one believes in us. Win. And I'm just like, oh my God, guys. Like, no, you're not. They're just mad because they took the AFC East for 1 year and they thought that there was going to be like a Buffalo dynasty. And so now they're mad that that dream has been crushed.
And it's just you hate to see it because you think it's going to happen. The Bills becoming, a more well-rounded, complete team, and then all of a sudden, Bill Belichick waves his magic wand around, and Mac Jones appears, and it's basically another Tom Brady. I mean, obviously, people say like, "Oh, that's such a hyperbolic statement," but like, no, like Mac Jones is really turned into another Tom Brady clone in the sense that he just plays like him and he leads like him. And the fact that we're 1 year, not even a full year into the new era, and the Patriots are already fighting for the #1 spot in the AFC, and it's week 13, and they have not had their bye week yet. Like,
I still think that, speaking of the bye week, that
yes,
has just irritated me so much this year that any team can have a week 13 or week 14 bye. I just think that's absolutely ridiculous, and they should not be putting any buys that late in the season, ever. I feel like nobody should be getting buys at week 4, and nobody should be getting buys as late as week 13 or 14. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially for a league that tries to say that they care about, the health and safety of their players, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you really think that having a bye in week 4 and then playing, 13 weeks in a row is good, or playing until week 14 without a break, that's a good idea? That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I agree. I mean, I don't mind what is going on here. I don't mind the late bye because it, especially for teams, I'm not even going to say the Patriots, just any team in that spot that's a top team heading into the playoffs. I like that for them. And if I was in that situation, I would be in favor of, because that gives you that much needed extra rest before, the other season starts.
It's just one of those things that's like worrisome that, like, what about all of the possible injuries that led up to that? You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah. But I would rather a late bye over an early bye for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, compared to last year where they had a week 4 bye, I would definitely prefer a week 14 bye. But how about something in the middle? How about like a week 9?
A week 9? Oh, look at that.
That would be pretty sweet.
With that. Yeah. I think that would be nice, but
we can't have what we want always, I guess.
I know. We already are spoiled so much here in New England. It's really nice to see. So if we get a late bye, we get a late bye. If we don't, we don't. Whatever. But other teams have played yesterday, and honestly, it made me feel a lot better and a lot more comfortable going into this game, because the NFL did exactly what the NFL does and is just absolute nonsense and nonsensical. You can't predict anything. And you think one team's going to win. And based on our picks that we put out on our Twitter, I thought I had it in the bag. Even the Lions, I would like some recognition here. I just would like you did it. Good job. Like, I just want some sort of praise.
I'm bummed because I feel like I gave up on them a week too early.
Yeah.
Because, I had been saying like, oh, I really want them to win. Like, I was really happy for them to get that win and the genuine excitement that they had. I even saw, I don't know if you saw the video of Goff's girlfriend.
Oh, I watched it like without sound, if that makes sense, but
Yeah, I know. It's just so funny. Like, oh, she's just busy in her bikini posing for Sports Illustrated. And, someone shows her the video clip and she's like almost about to cry. I just thought it was really cute. And then, of course, Dan Campbell doing the most respectable thing ever, dedicating the game to the victims
for
of the
sure.
school shooting last week.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't know how you can't like them or him or be happy that they at least won one game. Like, even if they don't win another game, it was pretty cool to see them win against a division opponent and in Detroit.
Yeah. And they did, like, it was a very storybook win, year since their last one, new era, everything going on. And that's a thing that I think a lot of people don't really understand about the Lions is that it's not like everyone's like, oh, they finally got their win. Really? Like, are we this excited about it? It's like, yeah. Do we not understand that this team is probably one of the worst rosters when it comes to talent in the entire NFL? And they still come out there week to week and play like they belong in the playoff race. Like, what Dan Campbell's done for these boys is absolutely incredible, and it just overshadowed because they just got their first win.
Well, and it's not like in every single game they're being dominated. I think that that's the thing that people look at their record and it's like, yeah, they haven't won a game. But I'm like, but I have only watched, I think, like one Lions game, and that was on Thanksgiving, because they're just not shown nationally very often, obviously.
That's a problem. Yes.
So I think that, if people paid attention to what was actually happening in the game, then they would realize that they're not being completely blown out every single week. So that's why I've always said, like, records are not indicative of how a team plays.
Oh, for
you
sure.
can play really well and really hard and with a lot of heart every single week. It's just unfortunate that you didn't do enough to win. And sometimes that's happened a lot to them this year. And I want to remind people too, when the Browns were winless, basically everyone in the league was praying for them to win one. Like, I remember when they won a game, it was like week 14 or something. It was like very towards the end of the year they finally won, and I remember people being so excited. I'm like, so why do we not feel the same for the Lions? Like, what's the difference here?
Because it's an easy target to hate. That's the problem. Is that
but why though? Like, what are the Lions?
Because the Lions. That's the thing.
But
No, you're right. I am with your standpoint. I know the mass. I know the idiots who are arguing for these things. I'm in their Facebook groups. My whole point is that when you go through these, and I'm only in them not only to show my fandom, but also share my stuff and share my pieces. I mean, I could say the Lions are the worst team ever and all this, and you get people that obviously would be like myself and defending them. But then you write a piece about how great of a guy Dan Campbell is, and then they still are going to bash you and say how terrible of a coach he is. So there's always going to be people right there to hate.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just overcomes. It sucks because the Browns and the Lions are basically the same, in the same predicament as they were a few years ago. I mean, the only difference is I think Dan Campbell is more of a motivator than Kevin Stefanski, where Stefanski's more of a strategic kind of coach. So I'm very excited to watch that rebuild happen because it feels a lot different this time around. But the Vikings, holy shit. I called it too. I said, though, the only way you're going to beat a team is beating a cursed team like the Vikings. Because they had everything to lose that game.
And they got lucky because Thielen got hurt really early in that game. I am going to formally apologize to everyone who had him in their starting lineup because every time I decided to put him in my starting lineup, he either got injured or he got virtually no points, and that happened yesterday. So shout out to Thielen for getting me 1 point in fantasy and basically securing my loss. Which was a very attainable win in that league. So I apologize to everybody. I take the full blame for his injury, and he is now already basically ruled out for next week. So
yeah, all Justin Jefferson, baby.
Yeah, he got 37 points yesterday or something like that.
Still lost in fantasy. We had a rough week.
Yeah.
It's a rough go around. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it was just like a rough week in fantasy in general. There was a lot
Rough
of
season.
very low scoring players yesterday.
There were a lot. I was going through my waiver wire blog today trying to find different people that are at least worth rostering that are under, trying to hit that. And when it gets to tight ends, and we'll obviously get into it, but I struggled to find
Oh
someone
yeah.
who is not rostered in a majority of leagues and also has some sort of value to bring to the table. There's not a lot out there right now, and that's
And
a little scary.
Running backs
Yes.
too. That is a struggle. Like
Oh yeah.
I am very struggling at that. And I'm fortunate that in some of the leagues I was able to pick up some people before people kind of like jumped on the bandwagon for those people. So I got lucky in that sense. But yeah, no, it's a lot of injuries this year, a lot of underwhelming performances, very inconsistent performances. I mean,
Very.
you briefly mentioned the Ravens losing to the Steelers, and Lamar, I don't know what's going on with him. And
8
he
straight
was
games without a rushing touchdown.
he was a lock as like your quarterback one for so long, because it was like he was just like giving you points every single week. And now I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm lucky that he ended with 17 yesterday.
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta be thankful for that because that's
yeah.
average.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know what's going on with him, and I want to like ask Harbaugh what he was thinking for going for 2 points.
Okay, no, I'm with Harbaugh on that, and I hate that I agree
No,
with him, but I
you
think
should have gone to
you gotta put
overtime,
away the
brother.
Steelers. No,
No,
you gotta
no.
put away the Steelers. All right, I think you gotta hear me out
Okay.
before I think you gotta hear me out on this one. Oh, look at that. So hear me out. That I have these things now. So hear me out on this. I think you have to put yourself in the Ravens position where they should have won that game handedly. Like no problems. Big Ben is pretty much just having the time of his life out there at this point, being his last season in a uniform. And
Well, he
if you go
only
to
said in
overtime,
Pittsburgh. He only
well,
said in Pittsburgh.
31 other teams should not have interest in Big
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah.
And you go in with and you basically are going to lose. And to go to overtime, that's the other thing that they haven't. I don't think they've been that successful in overtime to begin with, and they're a team that just likes to go for it. I mean, anytime they have a chance to win, they're just going to take it. That's what Harbaugh and Lamar have said and multiple times in interviews and whatever. The problem was that it's Mark Andrews' fault. I don't like to put the blame on one person, especially in a moment like this where, it didn't really come down to that play, but it did.
Yeah.
He tried the old, tip it here, come here, tip over.
Yeah.
And he didn't I'm literally watching it now. NFL Network literally just put it on the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the replay right now. And if you look, he has his hands like this for two, like gonna catch it and then turn. But he does that one hand to try to just ease it to himself so he can. It was really a dumb move by him. And if he just kept running, going for it, he had it. He had so much space to score. And so I don't put the blame on them for going for two. It's really on Mark Andrews to catch the goddamn ball. Like,
yeah, I feel like that's a fair point. And then at the same time, it's like, it's a divisional opponent. There was not like a ton riding on the outcome of the game, but kind of, because tonight's game alters the positioning.
And there's a game they needed to win. They needed to beat the Steelers.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I feel like there was too much on the line for you to be like ballsy at that point, especially where they weren't playing well really at all throughout that game. And then you got it to that point where you were able to tie it, and instead you blew it. Regardless of if it being, Lamar's fault or Andrew's fault, whoever's fault it was, it doesn't matter because it still didn't work. And then, of course, it's like, if it's one of those things that, we always say all the time, if it had worked, it would have been brilliant. And when it doesn't work, it's stupid. So there's really there's arguments for both sides of it. It's just, of course, because it didn't work, it's like, oh, then it just looks stupid.
Yeah. And that wasn't even the game of the night. We had Chiefs Broncos. And to be honest, I was very disappointed in the entertainment factor of that game. I thought it would be a little bit closer. The Broncos defense would step up a little bit more, but Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs did exactly what they usually do.
I think it's
which
mostly
brings the question.
The Chiefs defense did what they had to do.
Yeah, they finally.
If we're being honest.
No, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're showing up in this win streak right now. I'm pretty sure I saw a stat last night on the broadcast that they haven't allowed a touchdown in their 5-game winning streak. That's insane. And, that's a team that started out the season being legitimately the worst defense in football. So that being a turnaround for them is kind of scary for the rest of the AFC, because if they can get their defense going and then Pat Mahomes can finally kick it back into gear, it's going to be a very interesting AFC playoff race, because right now it is so close in the
AFC. I think three of the top, is it the 3 of the top 4 or all 4 have the same record right now?
All 4, technically all 5 if you want to count the Bills, because they're also 8-4. And
well, and then if the Chiefs had lost last night, they were going to fall out of the playoffs. They were going to go to 8th, which is insane.
That's crazy to think.
Yeah. So if they hadn't won, they would have fallen off. So it's like, I mean, it's crazy to think that we're talking more about the success of the Chiefs defense and not the godly playing by Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's doing enough to win, but he's certainly not playing the way that we are used to seeing him play over the last few years.
Yeah, and that's basically because of defenses figuring out, okay, to stop Mahomes, you just have to apply pressure. It's it's kind of that way to beat Tom Brady as well. If you just keep rushing him, he's going to have to keep dancing around the pocket, and he can pull some throws out of his ass here and there. But 90% of the time, as we've seen, even in the Super Bowl, his receivers, sometimes they're not gonna catch it, or they're gonna miss it, intercept, whatever, because they're just game planning for him is a lot tighter and better.
Well, and Kelsey has been really
missing. What the hell, man? All right, I put him in my DFS lineup last night, thinking it's a money pick, and I'm not even just thinking he'll have over 100 yards, a touchdown, 50 yards. That's all I'm asking for. Can you do that?
Yeah, no, I know. He's another reason. I had only 3 players, I think, in my whole lineup in one league that got double digits. Everyone else got below 10. And I was like, this was a very easily won league, and you all let me down.
That's so awful.
You know what's crazy is, depending on the outcome of 2 players in the game tonight, I might win my first win in the league that I am winless.
Yeah.
And that's going to be my only win this week. What are the chances? So
I mean, look at you. Winless teams just coming out of nowhere and winning games.
Well, I'm only up by 36. And he has Nick Folk and Hunter Henry. So
Nick Folk could have a casual 20 burger for
I
no
know.
reason.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, normally I'd be like, yeah, it's just a kicker, and Hunter Henry's not doing a whole lot. And then I'm like, Nick Folk got 21 points. It's very easy for Hunter to get 2 touchdowns, possibly. I'm like, so I'm sitting here I won, and then I'm like, no, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I have people being like, no, you have every chance of winning. There's no chance of you losing. I was like, yeah, there is.
See, those people I worry about, because I love the phrase ignorance is bliss and try to live by that, but sometimes you can't. Yeah. You're only going to let yourself down more. Is there any other games we want to touch upon before we get into the waiver wire for today?
No, I will talk. So.
I will talk about one, just because I've been watching their Hard Knocks, and I'm obsessed
the Colts,
with. I'm obsessed with the Colts at this point.
They
might shock the world in the playoffs. I don't know what it is, but if Jonathan Taylor can keep playing the way he has, he has 10 straight games of the rushing touchdown. Carson Wentz didn't have the best day yesterday, but he doesn't need to because of him. And then the Colts defense, granted they played the Texans, but they proved that they can do that job in pretty much shutting them down and making that, the opposing offense look like a bunch of peewee football players, because that's what they did.
Well, I didn't watch their game, but they dominated again. So
Taylor.
I am nervous for the Patriots to play them. We play.
It's gonna be a good game. I'm trying to go to that game. I want to go to that game so bad.
Is it at home?
It's at Gillette. I will try to be
Well,
intense
it
for
must
that.
be nice to live
It's nice. It's
close.
40 minutes away. Beautiful Patriot Place. Beautiful stadium for that. It's nice. Well,
Yeah,
and then maybe you know
I
what? Maybe it'll fall. Some snow will fall. I would love that. I've never been to a
as
snow
I'm
game.
sitting here like looking out my window, it's 75 and I'm just like, God.
See, I got the long sleeves on because we got Red
I
Sleeve
know
Nation tonight.
I'm wearing a Patriots shirt and I'm like, I kind of am not sure. I feel like I might have to change before we go on the other stream. Cause I'm already like
Babu,
superstitious
Babu,
that we're going to be streaming during the game and I've never done that. So I'm like, oh my God, what if we lose? What if the Patriots lose? It's going to be because I streamed during
oh,
the
so you're
game.
you're okay. I'm a little stitious. I'm not
I'm
superstitious.
superstitious. Like
I'm a little
any little
stitious.
change, that's what I blame for.
Why I remember I had the greatest jersey of all, the red uniforms. I have a Brady one. Wore it 49. Whatever his name is
Mm-hmm.
catches it. Was it Doug Baldwin? I think whoever took it off. White T-shirt. Boom. Malcolm Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Took it off at halftime of Super Bowl 51, and then I wore it too late. I think playing Philly, nothing works.
That's really
When you
rude.
play Philly, so
Yeah, no, I'm gonna change my shirt for sure.
nothing
Not gonna
works.
lie.
All right. Well, good to know. Good news. News update there. And while you're updating us on if we are clothing, let's update you on some fantasy players to pick up and watch for in week 14. Regardless of the outcome tonight, you still have to put a lineup in next week. You still have to fight for your right for a championship. And we're going to help you with that with our waiver wire episode. So let's just get into the waiver wire now. And we're going to do it with our who's. Let's check out. I would do my blog, but instead of that, you should just go check it out yourself because tomorrow it'll be posted if you're listening to this on the your Apple Podcasts or whatever app you use for podcasts. Go to undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com. Check out my blog about waiver wires. We're going to give you a couple, but then also we're going to give you a couple that aren't on the waiver wire as well. So with that being said, let's just get right into it here. And Sarah, what's your situation looking like with the waiver wire? What's our roster situation?
Well, I'm struggling at running back, like I said. Fortunately, I was able to get Madison last week.
Madison. Yeah, that's
Um,
good. There you go.
yeah. Also, receiver is a little struggle bus for me right now in this league anyway. Thielen is hurt. And my other wide receiver in this league, at least this week, was Mooney. I don't know why did I keep him in? Like I'm sitting here questioning, like I don't know why I kept him in yesterday. So I'll need to get a new receiver possibly because I don't know who the Bears play, but that was just an unfortunate time.
That is a serious unfortunate event.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm basically it's ironic because at the beginning you were talking about tight ends. I'm like good for tight ends in all my leagues because I have Kelsey, Andrews, and Gesicki. So I'm like, okay, like I'm pretty set for the most part. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I was having questions about quarterback yesterday. Thank goodness I went with Herbert.
Thank God he didn't listen to me. Jesus,
yes.
That was awful.
I listened to Twitter instead.
See, sometimes just go and listen to the other people instead of I
feel like I need someone at every position almost because I'm also like questioning if I keep Lamar in. They play Cleveland next week, but I'm like, do I keep Lamar in? Like, is he going to be a huge contributing factor to why I lose? Like, what am I doing? So
you said you have Thielen on your roster. He won't play next week. And I'm looking now, not in my blog, but someone I'm going to mention now, KJ Osborne. I don't know if you remember that name from weeks 1 and 2. Yeah. But he was
that's right.
Pretty much killing it for them and seeming like he was going to have a much bigger role. Obviously, that kind of dropped off since week 2, only had one game over 15 points, and it was in week 6. But now with Thielen out, he has potential to get those.
He got 14 points yesterday.
14, and he saw 7 targets, caught 4 of them. And when he was treated as a contributor in weeks 1 and 2, he had 15 targets in that 2-game span, catching 12 of them. I mean, he's going to be targeted a lot with Thielen out. So in that case, I just say play the odds and just have them be in your favor because he can do well. We've seen it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch him because
Put that on the watch list.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, and now I just lost him.
Nice.
Because he's so far down the list.
Well, that's
Yeah,
That's what happens when you.
So yeah, no, I think I'll definitely probably be picking him up. I want to watch Devontae Parker as well.
Yes, I would want his. Yeah,
since he just came back. Where are you? There you are. I want to watch you.
Okay. And then I saw this on the waiver wire today, and I only am really bringing this up because he finished as like a top. He finished as a top 10 quarterback yesterday. I know that, but when you get a guy like that in this position, I don't know if I should advise people to pick him up. That player being Zach Wilson. I really
know.
I can't like. Here's the thing. I would love to recommend people based on this type of thing, but there's that feeling that you have, and this isn't just bias showing. It's literal like what the eye test.
Yeah.
Like, what has Zach Wilson done since yesterday when he played a very overrated Philadelphia Eagles defense and did as well as he did? Granted, yeah, they lost, which is Jets and Jets, but this is fantasy here.
Yeah.
And that makes me really start, get the wheels turning. Like, does Zach Wilson have fantasy value even if the Jets suck?
Yeah, I was looking at quarterbacks and I was just looking at points from yesterday. And I saw he got like 21 and I was like, I didn't realize it was him. I just saw 21. I was like, oh, who's this? And I saw it was him and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know that I can get myself to actually add him.
And I would love to say it for people struggling with quarterbacks, but
yeah,
I can't.
But it's still the Jets.
That's the thing, and he's done well against we'll say a lot, with Elijah Moore. Mitchell's on the 49ers. Too many Elijahs. With him, Corey Davis didn't look too bad. The problem is, once they get Michael Carter back, I think that offense is going to be decent, at worst.
Yeah.
But with the run game they have now, I wouldn't feel comfortable picking him up. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could do it either. It's too risky, I think. I mean, there was, he got injured. I mean, they even were testing Mike White. They had Flacco in at one point. So, I mean, I don't even think that the Jets have 100% confidence in him. So,
I don't think the Jets have 100% confidence, period. But that's another.
I know, which I'm kind of bummed about for them just because, I mean, I hate the Jets. I don't care. But like when they get a new head coach that was like so sought after, like you were hoping that maybe that'll be like the key. But
yeah, no,
Jets will jet.
Jets are gonna jet like they usually do, and that's why I can't advise. I'm gonna have to say no to that one.
Yeah.
And then we talk quarterback here. Let's do a little bit this or that. We talked about running backs. No. Oh, here's someone. Yet. That's there we go. So Sony Michel is on waivers at 60%, but I think he's enough talk going around right now where it's relevant for here. Sony Michel brings a lot of potential to be a nice RB2, especially if Darrell Henderson is going to miss an ample amount of time. And he did well yesterday.
Yeah, he did. I was surprised and I was happy. I liked Sony. I wasn't like super excited about him being traded, but I mean, obviously it makes sense given the situation that the Patriots had. But yeah, no, I didn't realize that Henderson was injured. So now that makes more sense why Sony was having a good day. Cause I don't remember who it was. I think it was someone my sister was against and he had Sony Michel in and I was like, oh, you got this, like to my sister. But it ended up being different because Sony actually did well yesterday. So
it is a blizzard in Buffalo. It is coming down. Holy shit. Yep. That's going to be unreal. Oh, I can't wait for that game.
I'm disappointed though, because I feel like it's going to drastically alter the game.
No,
And
that's what we feed off it. It's cold.
well,
You gotta the Brewski speech is one of my all time. That's what I think of every time it snows when the Patriots play. It's just the Brewski speech after they beat the Colts.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna be disappointed.
Okay, that's great outlook.
Sorry, I'm just reading
All right, well,
everyone is talking about the weather now
it's all
on Twitter.
Embrace it. We gotta embrace it. Embrace
And
the
there's
suck.
one guy
Embrace the
that I
weather.
follow who constantly talks badly about Mac, and I'm just over it.
Okay, would he also talk badly about Jamal Williams or Mike Davis for the upcoming future? Because those are two guys who, one has more of a chance to go off, and two has not been relevant, I think, all fantasy season until he scored on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Did you ask me something?
Who would you rather have?
Oh, coming into this week, like this coming week?
Yeah, you have running back issues. There's two
Okay.
running backs staring you in the face. Which one are you taking?
Who are the Falcons playing, and who are the Broncos playing?
Well, first Jamal Williams, not Javonte.
Oh, sorry.
So Lions are facing the Broncos. So I mean, there you go. You just knew the opponent.
Yeah.
And Mike Davis, the Falcons, they will be taking on the Panthers. They're going to Carolina.
Ooh.
Both kind of yucky, I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would lean towards the Falcon, like a Mike Davis, just and like initial reaction, but that's a divisional game. And the Panthers did have a good defense. But I don't know. That's kind of tough because the Broncos were supposed to have a good defense too, but I didn't really see much defense yesterday.
No, I didn't.
So
I didn't see a lot
maybe
of defense.
Williams might be better at this point. And they're coming off a high. You know, they just got their first win. They're going against a team who had an abysmal performance yesterday. So, I mean, I don't know if the Lions can do 2 in a row. But based off of what we saw from the Broncos, I mean, anything is possible. So
anything is possible. I love it.
To quote, Mr. KG himself,
Lord Kevin Garnett. I'm gonna stick with Jamal Williams just because he has a role in that Lions offense, regardless of Swift being there or not. And when Swift's gone, that only increases. And he's done well when given that type of running RB1 volume. And the Lions, as you said, they're going to come off that win. They're fired up. They looked like a more complete offense on Sunday against the Vikings. They just looked like a better team all around.
Is Swift out for the season or
just a few weeks? I mean, yeah, a fantasy season at least.
Okay.
But I don't think we'll see much of Swift for the rest of the year. And then when it comes to Mike Davis, Cordell Patterson's still there playing any position they ask him to. So
that's true. And he's going to be their priority. So again, like we talked about at the beginning, it's consistency issues. Mike Davis is a part of that because obviously he's RB2 in Atlanta. So you're not going to be giving him the ball over Cordell Patterson, who can do basically anything. So I would go with Williams for sure.
All right, yeah. Oh, yeah. I would agree there. And then let's do wide receiver. We did that. Tight end. All right.
Okay.
Wrap up with tight end because it's a whole lot of just blah on the waiver wire, and I think it is our job to navigate you through the blah to get the bling.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of people are disappointed because they probably picked up Moreau in Waller's place, but I think I saw today that Waller is, getting towards being able to actually come back this weekend. So you might not be disappointed for long because Moreau did not really do anything yesterday. But the Raiders didn't really do anything yesterday.
No, they didn't. Washington. It wasn't even that. No one dominated the other, which is a very hard. Oh, geez, that was accent coming out. Just a very hard fought game between those defenses. The defense is kind of stepped up finally. But yeah, I don't have any more faith in Foss Moreau after yesterday. It was kind of it for me. Of being on that train.
Maybe check out Jimmy Graham, or at least watch him, because it seems like if he gets anything his way, it's a touchdown. It seems like that's all they really ever use him for, is in the end zone. So he could very easily get you some quick points because he's scoring touchdowns. So
yeah,
I mean, he got more points than Travis Kelce yesterday. He got 9 points.
Geez.
So I mean, that's better than nothing, you know.
No, yeah. I mean, I would take Ryan Griffin over him at this point.
Oh, I know. And now he's questionable. I don't know what happened to him.
I see the queue there. It's annoying.
Yeah.
I hate that goddamn queue.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
They're saying it looks like Mac is wearing a scuba suit tonight. So
whatever it takes.
He's bracing for the cold.
He's whatever it takes for him to win a football game. He will
very Brady-like. I don't like to say he's like Brady, but there's certain things that he does. It's like Brady would do that too. Brady wore scuba suits when it was cold. So
it's brilliant. Belichick probably told him to wear the suit.
Yeah.
Where's my scuba suit?
All right. This is just going to be so crazy. Like,
I'm so excited for this game. I could not be more excited because this is like a preview of the playoffs. I think this is going to be a very telltale game.
I just can't help but be nervous. I'm just nervous. Like, I know that it's like, at the end of the day, does it really matter if the Patriots lose this game? Not really. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
They play them again at Gillette. I would assume that the next time that they play them is not going to have similar weather necessarily. It's possible. Obviously, it's like just Buffalo and New England, but I'm hopeful that the next time they do is like more fairer weather, just because I feel like we deserve to have a better game to watch than the potential of what this game could be. But it's Buffalo.
Brilliant.
You don't want to give Buffalo any sort of edge.
No, you can't. At this point, you can't. You can't give any sort of edge heading in.
Yeah. I mean, it's an important game, of course, but fortunately, they do play them again. So this isn't like, the end-all be-all for the AFC East.
No. And the Patriots have nothing to lose but all to gain. So that's just a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Hopefully the run defense is better this week, too.
Hopefully.
Because if they're going to be running the ball a lot because of the snow, then we can't be giving up 270 yards again. That's ridiculous.
I think it's going to be, if there's and this is a team where they're not going to have to rely on the run to move the ball downfield. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, like the entire wide receiving crew is good enough that they can move the ball. It's not like the Browns, like the one we saw a few weeks ago, it's usually on the running back. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And you'll have to see what happens in your waiver wire claims, which I hope all go through. I hope you guys listen to us and all your dreams and wishes come true. But if they don't, that's okay, because all you have to do is complain to us at Underground Sport, at 4th and Goal USP on Twitter and on Instagram, because I'll listen to them. I probably share those same woes. Sarah, you probably share those same woes. So let's share together and talk football and help each other out. So with that being said, let's get down to business with the Goal Line Stand. That's right, it's Goal Line Stand, brought to you by our friends at Tomahawk Shades. Tomahawk Shades, go to tomahawkshades.com right now to put in promo to buy your blue light or sunglasses and put in promo code USP at checkout to get 20% off your order. 25, excuse me. That's how great it is. 'Tis the season for price droppings. 25% off your order. Tomahawk Shades, stay styling and profiling. All right, Sarah, first down. So I'm going to do my DFS lineup. We got DFS tonight. I do it every week because it's fun. And guess what? Last night in a 5-cent buy-in, because that's where we're at right now, won 10 cents. So you know what? You can't, it's the little things. It's the little victories that we have to get ourselves excited about. But it's already a lot going on this game. And because the weather in Buffalo is so chaotic and just absurd, we kind of have to do a little bit of our own weird little making of our teams, because you got to go in with a different mindset. You have to kind of play to the advantage. So instead of taking an MVP, Mac or Josh Allen, I think I'm going to go with an MVP in Damian Harris.
Yeah, I was
They're
going
going to
to
run the
say
ball a
RB
lot.
for sure.
They're going to.
Or a tight end.
Well, that's another. That's what tight end am I playing though? I'll
I
give
know
you the
it's going to
pick now.
depend. Hunter Henry or Dawson Knox.
I don't want to wait for my life to be over, and I don't want to play Dawson Knox in
Okay,
my
that's fine.
lineup.
I still feel like he sounds like that's like a WWE name. That's like a name that Vince McMahon came up with and was like, "Yo, that's going to be your name. That's your gimmick."
Starring on ECW on Tuesday nights on Sci-Fi.
Dawson Knox takes on Brock Lesnar.
I'm taking, just because of that, we're doing it. Also, can we talk about my great reference to Dawson Knox saying I'm a young kid and Dawson's Creek? Come on.
I never watched it, so.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Sorry.
So do we go Josh Allen or Mac Jones?
I don't know. I don't like to do
Josh Allen.
That's what I was leaning, just because I think that if the Patriots are going to rely on the run game, then obviously that leaves Mac to not perform overly well,
He's going to play very conservative tonight, especially
I just don't like to make predictions,
Oh, that's okay.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like for the Patriots.
I don't
for the Patriots, I mean.
On a podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm just here to talk football, but like not talk about it.
No, that was perfect. All right, I'm playing Josh Allen. Someone's got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And then we'll combat it with Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers, I feel like, is going to be the guy. And then I'll take good old Tyler Bass.
Over Nick Folk?
I'm taking Nick Folk. Screw that. Nick Folk was less money, and it's a better pick. I don't like. I'm taking out Jacoby Myers. I'm gonna put in Matt Breida. I don't know why. I'm feeling it, but I think Matt Breida.
Zach Moss is playing.
It doesn't matter. Zach Moss.
I'm just telling you. Yeah.
I appreciate it, but Zach Moss isn't doing anything. Matt Breida is gonna do anything. All right, then let's do it. We got in our lineup now: Damian Harris MVP, Dawson Knox, Josh Allen, Matt Breida, and Nick Folk. So we're submitting that only 25 cents because we're like Target here. Get the deals. All right. Second down. I got a nice hypothetical here for you. This is just a fun talk before we get into our long shot and safety picks. I've been doing a lot of my video game playing, and the best part about it is that with these teams that come about, the combinations of players are just crazy. So I was playing, and Carson Wentz ended up on the Lions.
Okay.
So my question is, with the Lions winning this week, we're praising that. Which quarterback would do a better job realistically than Jared Goff right now? Like realistically, who would have been a better fit from like the offseason stuff?
Who would do better as the Lions quarterback?
Yeah, like I'll start by saying, with seeing that about Carson Wentz, I actually think that if you put Carson Wentz in that offense, they would probably have maybe 2 or 3 wins. And, obviously his stats would be down, but I think they would be a better complete offense rather than, stat patterns.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to see if it could be like Tom Brady, right? Like they say that Tom Brady can make people out of nothing. So it's like, can Brady take like a very underwhelming team and make them a winning team?
That's a challenge.
That would be really interesting.
That would be.
I don't know though. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks, like, people want to talk about Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes has had a stacked team offensively his entire career. So I don't think that he's the type that could just go somewhere and deal with players that aren't like top names in their position. I don't know how he would do with that, because he does have the top tight end and one of the top receivers, and it's hard to say that he could be successful. So I don't know. I feel like Brady. Like I feel like I just don't know that there are really any other quarterbacks that could be like any better. I mean, Goff is like not bad. He's not amazing. He's like mediocre.
Vanilla ice cream.
But I just don't know that
Yeah.
there are a lot of quarterbacks that could be successful other than someone that's like a Tom Brady that has dealt with underwhelming teams before, you know?
It'd be interesting to see what rookie would have done, or in like another timeline universe, whatnot, if like one of the rookies ended up on the Lions instead of Penny Sewell, and you have like not Zach Wilson, like Justin Fields, I think would be a better.
Or even maybe Trevor Lawrence. There's Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence would be.
He doesn't have a whole lot going on in Jacksonville, but I feel like Detroit has some better players than Jacksonville does. They have like James Robinson, basically. So,
yeah, their receivers are very inconsistent. That's the biggest issue where
they fell apart after the AFC Championship.
It's that. Yep, that's what happens when you lose to Belichick and Gillette. It's just everything falls. And then third and fourth down, we're gonna combine it because usually at this point we do. Third down, who's our long shot? Long shot pick waiver guy who we've talked about or not, but you've seen and like, you know what? I'm taking a chance.
I am thinking KJ Osborne. I like that because you know, I did that with Kamara. When Kamara went out, I took Ingram. And Ingram did really well for me, except last week. In Kamara's place.
Told you to start out.
Yeah, so I am liking picking up Osborne in Thielen's place, and now he's probably going to be out. So it's worked well for me so far. I might try it again.
All right, I like that. I'll take my long shot. I am going to go with, where is he? Because I have him here. I've been looking at him. Nope, not quarterback. It was a running back. And I kind of want to take a shot on AP for some reason. You know, I don't know why.
Yeah, he got a touchdown yesterday.
It's just the weirdest feeling that I have, because every time I say that it's over for AP, like, hey, you know, you just got released. Maybe it's time to announce that retirement and make your way to the hall. He just comes back in the field and is productive. I mean, Adrian Peterson has scored 2 touchdowns for 2 different teams in the year 2021. And with the Seahawks' current state of mind, they think they're in win now mode. I want whoever said that comment, I think it was Pete Carroll said it. I want whatever he's taking that made him say that, because that was just nonsense, just absurd that he thinks that they're in win now mode. The only thing they're in win now mode is winning back their draft pick somehow.
Yeah, basically, I'm like, you're just trying not to have a completely losing season this year.
Lost the season. Yeah. It just, but AP, you could be someone you snag up, start the flex, because why not? And then he gets you a touchdown, 30, 50 yards, and that's a decent game. So, and then I'll start with the safety pick, and it feels like it's kind of fish in a barrel in a way. But I mean, quarterback, Jared. I think I was looking at this. Do you know Jared Goff has like really good matchups coming up?
I was looking at him, like I told you, I was looking for alternate quarterbacks for Lamar because I just haven't gotten that quarterback production that I needed. And I saw that Goff got 20-something points yesterday, and I was like, oh, I might have to look at him.
His next, so he plays Denver next week, and then Arizona, I would say, is tough. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Then Atlanta, Seattle, week 16, 17. So that's right about fantasy championships. And then week 18, Green Bay. Yeah, that's tough, especially with them getting their, defensive stars back.
Yeah.
It's week 18. They could be sitting them, you know?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So you got to think of that. And, you know, that could be a sneaky pick, a safety kind of claim. You could make now, stash him away, and say you got a bad matchup, or all of a sudden someone gets put on the COVID list. I mean,
yep. I know 11 players got put on the list today, so it's ticking upward since we're getting into the colder weather. Exactly. So that's definitely something to pay attention to.
I don't know. It could be good. All right, who you taking?
I'm going to go with Antonio Gibson. I
All
think that
right.
people were a little bit apprehensive about him since he was coming back from missing quite a few games, but he's done really well the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Over 20 points both weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Heineke is favoring him once again. So I feel pretty confident with him as a safety pick.
There you go. I like that. Let's get going. We have some football to watch, and so do you guys. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Fourth and Goal. It's been a pleasure, and we hope that you stick around and hang out with us a little bit more as we go live. We're going. Oh, it doesn't matter for the podcast, but
Yeah.
for anyone watching right now, we're going live right after this to watch the Patriots game, doing a little new thing for Fourth and Goal. New year, new things. Let's try it out. So definitely go and check that out on Sara's YouTube channel and on the Fourth and Goal Twitter. And it's TBD with Sara Marshall.
Yes.
So go check that out. And then go follow us on Twitter, obviously, at Pat_Pids and at SMarshXO. Then give a follow to our boys in Philly, Underground Sports Philadelphia, the network that allows me to and Sara to talk about whatever we want, whenever we want. And also give them a follow on Instagram. We have an Instagram account as well, new one up and running with a lot of different types of content going on over there. Our stuff from the show, picks that we have for Sundays and the other games. So go check that out at 4AGUSP on Instagram and on Facebook. We're there as well. Shout out to our sponsors, Pickup and Tomahawk Shades. Go follow them at Pickup HQ and at Tomahawk Shades on Twitter. Go follow them. All right, it's time for Monday Night Football. Thank you guys for tuning into this. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All I got to do is try. We'll see you in like 10 minutes.